Hello bakers, I love the baking season, but let's face it, it can be a really stressful time. I asked you on social media, what do you fear most about holiday baking? And you brought up some really good topics that I'm sure a lot of other people out there have the same concerns. That is why I compiled a list of my top 5 baking tips to get you through this time without even breaking a sweat. As always, all the recipes that I mentioned in this video can be found on biggerbolderbaking.com, along with information about how to buy my cookbook, A Fearless Approach to Baking, anytime, anywhere. Okay, let's get started with our first tip. So obviously, let's start out by talking pies. Really important around the holiday season. I know a lot of people can be a little bit funny about them. I have an amazing video for never fail pie crust on my website. Definitely check it out. It's going to be your go-to pie crust for the future. So let's talk pie pans. I love metal pie pans and I'll tell you why. They conduct the heat so much better than glass or than ceramic. They're also really thin. It gives you a really lovely golden brown crust and it makes sure that you don't have a soggy bottom. One of my favorite pie tins that I like to use is a Good Cook 9-inch pie pan, and you can easily get that online. So a quintessential pie at this time of year is an apple pie. Now I've got an amazing recipe for an apple pie filling. The great thing about this, it can be made in advance. It keeps in your fridge for weeks. And then when you want to go make your pie, you just have your pie crust, you have your filling, and you bring them all together. It's really, really easy. I strongly suggest that you have some of this in your fridge ready to go. So let's talk soggy bottoms. Nobody likes a soggy bottom when it comes to their pies. And a way to avoid that is really simple. Bake your pie on the lowest rack in your oven so it has that direct heat source from the bottom of the oven, making sure that it gets nice and crisp. Another really great tip is to bake it on a baking tray or even a pizza stone, and that being preheated will just make sure that your pastry gets lovely and golden brown all the way around. So for your pie recipes, I've got apple, pumpkin, pecan, fudge, all in my holiday baking headquarters, so definitely go check them out. So now let's talk baking with yeast. Around the holiday season, people do extra baking, so they're making all sorts of doughs like bread rolls, cinnamon rolls, sticky buns, lovely dishes like that. However, there is one thing that they all have in common that can deter people, and that is using yeast. But I have the perfect solution for you. So here's my secret. Use dried instant yeast. It's the best kind of yeast to use. You do not need to sponge it in water. You do not need to wait for it to activate, anything like that. What you do is you add it directly into your dry ingredients. So you add in your flour, your salt, your sugar, then you add in your yeast and then just mix it together and add your liquid. You don't have to worry about doing an extra step. It's so much easier to use, less fuss, and honestly, it works every time. Do me a favor, go to your baking cupboards, check the expiration date on your yeast, because if you haven't bought yeast since last Christmas, you're going to need a new pack. After all that, if you're still a little bit unsure about using yeast, I do have a yeast-free cinnamon roll recipe on my website. So now let's talk rolled cakes. Around this time of year, Yule logs or even my red velvet roulade make really impressive centerpieces on your holiday table. The one fear that people have about them is rolling them and actually having them crack, but I have the solution for you. So here's my secret. When it comes out of the oven and it's still warm, you want to roll it up like it's already filled. Then hold it in place for a few seconds, just holding that spiral shape, and then roll it back down flat again. So what you're doing here is kind of creating a muscle memory. So when you do fill your cake and roll it, it will already be used to this shape and it will do so with ease and without cracks. And listen to me, if it does crack, just dust it with powdered sugar and no one will know the difference. So now let's talk treats that are great for holiday parties and for gift giving. I've got 2 words for you: holiday fudge. It is no bake, it can be made in advance, it doesn't need to be kept in the fridge, and it lasts for weeks. You only need 3 ingredients to make the base: chocolate, condensed milk, and butter. You melt that in the microwave, and then you can add any flavor you want to it. You can make my festive flavors like praline fudge, chocolate and orange fudge, and even cookie butter fudge. One tip I have for you about fudge making: don't overmix your fudge base. What can happen is if you overmix chocolate, it can separate and your fudge can become really oily. So just mix it the minimum amount to get everything together. So the big question on social media was, how do you get everything out of the oven, all the dishes ready to go at the exact same time and hot to the table? And the answer is really easy. It comes down to menu planning and being prepared. So a little secret, working in professional kitchens, when dishes have to go out all at the same time, hot, cold, whatever it is, we have to have our mise en place, which means prep, ready to go, so we can fire our dishes at the same time. When you're catering for your friends and family this holiday season, you have to think the same way. So when you're choosing your menu, be really careful about this. Make sure that not all of your dishes are coming out of the oven hot. Do some hot dishes, room temperature dishes, cold dishes, and that will really make life a lot easier. It'll be one less thing to put into the oven and one less thing to bring to the table hot. So now let's talk prep. What I do is I prep within an inch of my life. I peel, I chop, I get all my vegetables, all those sorts of things ready to go. I put them in water, I put them in the fridge, or I put them in a cold room in my house and leave them out until the big day. This will make your life so much easier. I do not want to know that you are peeling potatoes on Thanksgiving. So when it comes to your dessert, I have the perfect recipe for you. I do this every year. Gingerbread cake made in a crock pot. You don't even need the oven. So what you do is you mix it up the night before, keep it in the fridge, then the next morning, put it into your slow cooker or your crock pot, set it and forget it. You walk away for a few hours, it'll slowly cook, it will just become this lovely warm pudding. And then by the time dinner rolls around and it's dessert time, your pudding will be ready to go. This is absolutely top notch. That's it, you are ready to go. Head over to biggerbolderbaking.com and check out my holiday baking headquarters. Every recipe you'll need for the holiday season.